Welcome to the Holy Spirit's Curriculum of Joy podcast. My name is Wanaka Overhuber, and I'm your host. My guest today is Monique De Klerk. Hi.
Hey, Wanako. Lovely to be with you and your listeners today.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So, I like to
Pleasure.
start with a big question. How did you get to see things the way you do today?
Wow, it's that is a big question. So it probably deserves a big answer. The way I have become the person I am today is very much based on a journey of self-healing and self-discovery. When I was a child, I discovered very early on I was very different. And I always felt that I disappointed my loved ones. And mainly that was because I was quite sensitive and I could feel a lot of feelings from others. And it was very hurtful, and it was something that I didn't really understand at a very young age. And as I grew into an adolescent, and in my teenage years, I became even more interested in being something that I wasn't, just to please others. I basically decided that I would do anything. I would adapt to my personality and my being as a person, just to make others happy, because all I wanted was to be liked and loved and to fit in, really, just to be the person everybody wanted me to be. So later in life, as I became an adult, I realized that I really needed to understand, why was I different? Why was I somebody that I felt couldn't be loved or couldn't be accepted? And that's when I started my journey of spiritual healing, of understanding the different elements in terms of, what is important. And the Course of Miracles also showed me that loving yourself is one of the most important things to learn to do. And it's such a cliche. Everybody says you should love yourself, but what does that really mean? In my mind, love was something that was based on attachment. It was based on, you feeling like you are attached to something, but that's not true love. True love is just forgiving, and forgiving yourself, and just accepting what is there. And it's taken me a very long time to get to that point where I understood that it's okay to just be who you are. You don't need to try and be like somebody else, and you don't need everybody to just accept you for who you are. All you really need is for you to accept who you are, and for you to appreciate who you are as a being, and as somebody that's living a life that sometimes can be hard. So that's really when I discovered that I had uh, very much these oversensitive behaviors, if you would call it that. I, uh, I, I do sense what other people feel, as I said, and how they might feel about me. And that's when I started to really understand that I'm an empath. I'm an empathic person, so I sense energies, I feel energies, I I understand when people are feeling sad, because I actually feel what they're feeling. And it can be quite hard, it can be quite difficult to really be that way and to live a life, because there's a lot of people that might not agree with you or might not feel the same as you. And even today, as I talk to you now, it's still a journey for me. It's still difficult for me to to say it, to say, I'm empathic, I'm different, because I've spent 40 years of my life just trying to be something I wasn't, and just be something that everybody else wanted me to be. So It's been a long road, and it's 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 still ongoing. And I just really want. I wish that I had somebody when I was younger to tell me and to coach me and to help me realize that it's okay to be different, and it's beautiful to be different. We are all different, and we're all so special in so many ways. And I really hope that that younger people feel that, and they understand that they are so special.
You just touched a point, specialness versus equality.
Yes, yes. Um, it is. I mean, how do you define equality? That's how are we equal? We we are equal, but we are yet different.
Yeah, so everyone has their path, and yet all are equal, all are one, and all are infinitely valuable.
Exactly, exactly. And we all have we all have different paths, but we all want the same thing. As you say, we all one. We all moving towards the same direction, but it just in different ways. And some of us fight it. Some of us don't want to go down that path. We want to maybe feel the ego, and do things that are not natural to what our soul and our spirit wants to do. But yes, I agree. We definitely we won, and we all want the same thing at the bottom, from the depths of our soul and our spirits. We all want the same thing. Just some of us don't always show it.
In A Course in Miracles, it speaks of the one thing we can agree on is that we all want to be perfectly happy.
Yes, yes. And what is happiness? Happiness is, sometimes people think that if they had, I don't know, 10 million pounds, dollars in the bank, they would be happy. But happiness is at your core what fulfills you. What fulfills your spirit? What is your soul yearning for? And that could be just walking in nature. I find walking in nature, spending time with my pets, that to me is true happiness. It's connecting. Connection can be, a very important part for us to really elevate our, to really help us be happy. And I think we've, with these difficult times, we've discovered that not having that contact all the time has been difficult, and how important it is to have that connection as well. So that's just how I see it.
Yeah, so what is your special function? In A Course in Miracles, that's the only thing special, is a special function, because once you're in heaven, we none of us is in any way special. We all are equal.
Yes, exactly. So what do you mean by special function?
Well, it's you spoke of the Course in Miracles and the path of forgiveness, right? And the way that is lived, or how one accepts the atonement for oneself, is different for every one of us, as long as we perceive ourselves as separate beings.
Yeah, and I think it's quite difficult to get your head around that. I think it's taking baby steps. I mean, when I can say when I read the Course of Miracles, not all of it made sense to me, and probably not all of it makes sense to me now. But as you go and as you journey, things start to make sense. Um, and I feel forgiveness is so important. Um, and 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 understanding exactly that we are all one and nobody is separate from one another, but it's so difficult to get to that point where you actually understand and feel it, because we obviously are in this physical body, and it's we feel so separated from one another. But because everybody's got a different point of view, and I think that's got a it's so interesting how people see things in such different in such a different light, but we all just need to embrace that and accept it, and accept the fact that we see things differently, but yet we are all one. So I don't think I'm articulating it correctly, because in my mind it's not so simple. But I think it just for me it's those little baby steps, forgiving my mother, forgiving my sisters, forgiving whoever has done me wrong in inverted commas, or taught me along the journey. But most importantly, forgiving myself for making mistakes. I am a little bit of a perfectionist, so I don't like to make mistakes, and I do beat myself up about it. But we've just got to, you know, say it's okay, and it's okay to be whoever you are at that moment, and you know just embrace what life is giving you, and know that we're all in it together. We're all doing our best, our very best. So this is a journey of 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 all these different souls, but we are all one at the end of the day.
Would you like to sum up your book a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So actually I wrote a very short ebook. It's basically a story of how I perceive being an empath, specifically in these challenging times. Just some of my experiences, as well as some of the tools that I use to deal with it, to deal with being empathic, being a sponge, if you want to say, attracting or feeling everything that's around me, and absorbing it, and carrying it around all day long. How do you deal with that on a daily basis? How do you make sure that you're not carrying other people's stuff around with you, and that you're not alone? You're not alone if you feel that way. And um, I wrote it because I was encouraged by some lovely friends, who have been in my life for a few years now, and we all supported each other in basically creating something, which was my book, which is called Being an Energetic Sponge, because there is so much positivity in being this way. And I think in today's age, it's so important for people that are empathic to teach others how to be the same, because we so need to just forgive and to love each other, and know that we're all one, as you just said. And how can we help the rest of the world to just be a bit more loving towards one another, instead of us feeling that we're completely separate, and having all that negativity around us, because the world just needs love. And I think love is the answer to everything. Another cliche. So if you're interested, I can put the link. It's a free ebook. It's my first book. I'm not an author or anything. I just put some words down on paper. I have also started a blog, which it talks about my different experiences. One of the things that I've found has been quite important, which I've never really thought much about, is grounding yourself and making sure that you ground it. Because a lot of the time when we're very spiritual, we tend to always think, in the spiritual terms, and we don't think about our bodies and being grounded. Well, that was for me. So, being a bit more physical and swimming and being in nature and just being more grounded, it really does help to 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 cleanse you and to make you feel more at ease and at more stable in where you are in your life. So I've got a blog that talks a lot about different elements like that, which I can share if that's okay, if anybody wants to have a look.
Yeah, you'll just send me the links and I can put it in the episode notes.
Thank you.
So let's go deeper. Have How did you come to decide to choose a different way of seeing things? What was this opening experience or this big question, or how did it happen?
I don't think it was necessarily an event. I think it was the journey. I think I just, when I was in my adolescence, I was just so sick and tired of just not fitting in. And then I started a journey of discovery, of self-discovery, and I went and I read up and I started to basically become a searcher to the meaning of why is this happening? Why are people different? And I went along many different paths to, you know, numerology, even image consultancy. I did that as well, strangely enough, not even anything to do with this topic, but I just was completely consumed with just finding out everything I could about anything to try and help me understand myself. And um, I think over it's been about a 20-year journey. And over that long time of following various spiritual teachers and reading on different topics, I then started to understand that the truth is really inside me. So all this work I've been doing externally and all the studies and all these teachings I've consumed over that time, it was all inside of me anyways. So through the process of meditation, and obviously with some of the teachings and skills I'd learned along the way, I really found that, you know it's I found that energy and that answer, that it's okay just to be who you are, and to just go on that journey and take one step at a time, to discover your true self. So I don't know if that answered the question, a bit of a long one.
Well, I think the turning point, like I heard out of it, is that you decided I have enough of having to change in order to be satisfied with myself. I want to accept myself the way I am.
Exactly, exactly. That
Yeah, I think that's a really, really important turning point. And I think that's something that many of us go through as we grow. And it's still an ongoing journey, of course. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. They always say, well, they often say you got to get to the bottom to get to the, to grow and to heal. Not to the bottom, but you need to get to a point where enough is enough in order for you to make that decision to change. And I think that's been evident in a lot of my life because I'm also stubborn. Um, Something has to happen as a catalyst in order for me to make a change. It's not easy to change your behaviors and your mindset. You've got a bit of work to do. So you need that catalyst. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a really, really big thing. And I think it's, in A Course in Miracles, it also speaks of that turning point where you just can't take anymore. And you decide there must be a better way, another way. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's also the turning point that brought the Course in Miracles into the world, into the writing in the first place. That two people decided there
Totally.
must be another way, a better way. Mm.
Yeah. Yes. And that's probably the it's probably the same story for most inventions.
So yeah. So how did the writing work? How did that happen that you got to write? You told us that it was friends who encouraged you to do it. How was it when you did write? Because I think it's like a lot like a parable that in your book where you can sink into the story and get a feel for what you're sharing about.
Yeah, so as I said, I'm not a writer. I've always journaled. I've always felt that that's a great way to get to get to get your feelings out, really. And especially if you're having a day that you're a bit frustrated. I've always tended to journal. But writing doesn't come Am I still online? Writing doesn't come naturally to me. Um, can you still hear me, Wanako? Sorry, I saw a
I hear
connection.
you now.
Okay, excellent. So, writing doesn't come naturally to me. But as I said, I've always journaled, so I've always been quite open to putting pen to paper and just getting my feelings onto paper. But to actually share that with the world or share that with anyone isn't something I've generally done. But just to answer your question, so I think the lady the ladies that are part of a group that of friends that we do a lot of spiritual stuff with, we did a challenge, a book challenge together, and we all wrote a book. It was really just a fun thing. It wasn't really supposed to be anything serious, etc. It was supposed to be just a fun thing, just to do together. And yes, that's how I started to write this book. I just got the idea um, one day. It just popped into my head, and then I started to just write, just do what I do with the journaling. And yeah, that's how it came to be. It just came from just the flood of feelings and of experiences that came through me as I was just typing away. So um, it just flowed, which was wonderful, and I think the ideas just carried on coming through. It didn't stop. It just was like a flood of content that I was able to put into a small book.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So I was also wondering about how you share that you found out that the answer comes from within. How has that deepened in your life, and how have you come into more contact with that answer from within?
Yeah, I think it's quite a personal thing, because a lot of the time, when you go within, you can overthink things, and you can think, okay, well, that's maybe that's not true, or maybe that's not something I should be listening to. Um, Going within, I think we all have various abilities in terms of our intuition, for that matter. I won't go into other topics, but our intuition is something that's inside us, that knows the truth. It knows everything. In my experience, it knows everything. Um, but we don't always trust it, because in my experience, I have not always trusted it, because I have not been confident in myself, or respected and loved myself enough to know this is okay, and it is the truth, and we should listen to it. We shouldn't listen to anything external. So it's been difficult. It still is difficult to go within, because sometimes the truth, you don't want to hear it. Sometimes it's something that you you might be so your head might be so into another area, but your intuition and yourself and inside you is saying, no, that's not good for you. You should be doing this rather, or you should be pursuing this. And I've had a lot of that in my life, specifically with relationships, where I've I've known that these relationships are not good for me, but I still pursue them, because in my head it seems right, but my intuition is telling me it's not right. And I should have listened to, uh, my going, what myself is telling me, my intuition, or going within to my true self. Um, so, and now I'm rambling. I forgot the question, but yeah. So going within is something I've always had to do, because I'm so empathic. It's the only way for me to make sense of the world around me, because I feel everything. I feel I feel what people are thinking. I feel what people are saying. I feel, well, what they're saying behind what they're saying. I feel, the energies around me. So going within has been the only way I've been able to center myself, and cope, and know that it's I'm okay, and this is what is in my mind, and this is what I'm feeling. It's not what everybody else is feeling. So I've had to do that to really make sure that what I'm feeling is what I'm feeling, and to process everything that's going on around me. I hope I'm making sense, because it's the first time I'm talking about this, so it's quite different for me. But I do think that we need to do it, and the way I do it is I either walk in nature, or I meditate. I do a lot of meditation, and that doesn't mean, traditional meditation where you sit and you listen to somebody guiding you through. Sometimes meditation is just sitting quietly and quietening the mind. And you'll be so surprised at what answers you get from inside you just by doing that. It doesn't always have to be, like a guided meditation for X amount of time. Sometimes you could just do it for a minute or two, and it's just to center yourself, to make sure that you in the moment.
Yeah, that helps me understand more, and I hope it helps everyone listening. Yeah. So this
I'm not that
discovering
good
of
with words.
the power of your recognition that the answers are within you is incredible. I mean, it's so beautiful, and I think that's something we all recognize as a very important aspect of the recognition of who we are. because if we don't go to ourselves, who
Yes,
are we going to go to?
exactly. And
Yeah,
nobody
did
knows
you,
better than you.
yeah, how about the point you probably, when you were at that point where you decided I want to accept myself for who I am and no longer try to distort who I am for whatever I perceive to be there. Did you ask for help within you, or how did it work? Did you ask someone, or did you ask yourself, or did you ask uh, a source within you, or something that you thought would be there to help you? How did, what happened?
So I always asked. I always, even since I was a young child, always asked why. Why am I different? You know, give me an answer. Tell me. Tell me. Obviously, the answer never came because I needed to go on the journey of self-discovery to realize that it's not that I'm different. I am different, but uh, I have a, you know, I'm still important to the greatness of all that is one. Um, so I always asked the question, and I used to get very frustrated that I never got the answer. But I think it was the persistence of, and it was something that I believe today that was inside me, that was pushing me, whether that was spiritual guides or whether that was my true self or whether that was God or the universe. I don't know. I believe maybe they're all one. They're all one again. They're all together. Um, there was just this realization that I I'm okay, and it's 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 something that the answer would come in small little incidents or interactions with people or books I would read or experiences I would live. It was like energy, just the whole all the little bits of the puzzle were just coming at different times, and then they all started to slot in. And I think it was because something in terms of my higher self just knew and was pushing me to to go through the journey to come back to myself again, to realize that it's all within me. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Thank you. Now I'm opening the floor for questions. If anyone would like to ask a question, just raise your hand. Any comments? So go ahead. Just unmute yourself, and you can ask.
Oh, hello. Sorry. I've really enjoyed hearing you talking and this, pursuit of self-awareness and being true to yourself and using your, empathy and abilities, um, you know, to not only grow with other people, but to center in yourself. And you wrote about this, and you're talking about it. And, did you ever doubt yourself about, the urgency to share this? Or how did you get, I know you said you had your group, but, writing, you said you're not a writer, but I think you are a writer. Like how did you keep yourself on track? I try to write, and I find myself not always able to keep myself in the flow. I have self-doubt, and just wondered if you have any insight on that.
Oh, you are so kind. You are so kind. Thank you for that. I still have doubts. I still have many, many doubts. I the doubts even today. I didn't want to come on this session because I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, who am I to be talking on a podcast? But I think I think we have to remember, and then this goes back to another thing that used to drive me, and that is, what is my purpose in life? What is my purpose on the, on this planet? Why am I here? What do I need to do? What can I do to fill my soul? So everybody's got a place, and everybody, is deserving, and you have your, there's something inside of you that, if you are wanting to write, then there's definitely a reason for that. There's definitely a reason why you're wanting to write, because not everybody wants to write a book or write something. So you've obviously got something to say, and just have faith that what you have to say is important and people will want to hear it. Um, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's something that was a big question mark for me. Is um, it's my writing's not good. I'm not a very good communicator by nature. I'm more of a, I sense energies, I sense that type of thing. I'm not a very good communicator. So writing was quite difficult for me, but I just knew I had to do it. And maybe the sentences were wrong or the grammar was incorrect, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it's the message, isn't it? It's what you're trying to put out there. And if you're gonna help one person just feel good for a minute or two, to me that's enough. So I say go for it, write. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Just, just put what you feel on paper and be open to it, and just open your heart, and don't let that ego talk you down, because it always talks you down. But you know what, you're beautiful and you've got an amazing story inside you. So I would just say, just do it, just write and enjoy the process, just enjoy doing it. So I hope that's helped.
Thank you so much. Yeah, there's another question. Please go ahead.
Hello, Monique. This is Miss 55.
Hello, Miss 65.
How lovely to listen to you and your stories. Thank you. You
Thank
actually
you.
are an author and a writer. An author is the one that is have the story, and the writer is the one that is writing it. So you cannot not be anything else but those. Um, so, Monique, author, I would like to know your empath qualities. How do you see that as benefits today that benefits you and others? But mostly how it benefits you nowadays. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, lovely. Um, so I think the way it benefits me today is I've really decided to take take heed of it, or accept the fact I'm empathic. I work in a corporate world. My job is in corporate. I work for a big corporate company. And before, I always used to hide my empathy and my empathic nature. But I I try not to anymore, even though I work in corporate, and it's not something you wouldn't be empathic or have empathy in a corporate job. It just doesn't really work. Um, but I think today it's changing, and I've actually done a whole blog about this, how it's actually changing in the workplace, how being more empathic and more caring and you know, being sensitive is okay in the corporate world. So I've started to embrace it a lot more and say, at the end of the day, I am sensitive. I am sensitive to people. And if somebody's having a bad day and I can sense it, I'll just send them a random message. Now, I'd never do that in the past. I'd never say, "Oh, I hope all is well." And often they are having a bad day, and that message has really made them feel good. Now, I never did that before because I didn't want people to think, "Oh, she's crazy," or "there's something wrong with her." Um, so I really embrace my this. I call it the superpower in the book, but because it's it's really incredible how you can feel how people are feeling and how you can really change their mind, and change the way they feel just by a smile or sending them a nice message or just being there and just being kind and sending them love. And I find that is such an important aspect of being an empath, is we have this ability to make people feel good because we know how they're feeling. So we feel how they're feeling. So we want to make them feel better and elevate their frequency. So just by a smile, and I often do this in the car even, I can sense somebody it's turning, driving past, they're having a bad, I'll just smile at them. So it's just sharing my love to people and my light to people around me, where I feel it needs to go because it's maybe it's a bit dark at the moment for them. So I don't know if that answered the question, Miss 65.
Yes, thank you. And I just wanted to comment on that, that as you described it, is like being an angel here on earth.
Oh,
And
sweet.
but it is, and I can actually recognize myself doing that. I was at IKEA, and I was smiling and to the others I'm meeting, and actually doing that in the grocery shops as well, because I just not want to be a poker face, passing people when I actually can take the moment to impress something positive in that moment. And it's actually a fun experience because you see how people react, and they actually get their act together and somehow get surprised and smiling back. So it's actually fun to do it when we don't have expectations anymore. We actually are carrying our strength and this divine gift of being this empathic. And I want to thank you, Monique. You are a divine soul. We have known each other for 2 years. And I always hear that angel within inside of you. I'm so happy for you being here. And I urge everyone to read your book. And not only that, pass it on to parents that may have sensitive children, sensitive teenagers. As Monique is sharing this for free, it's such a lovely gift. And Monique is such a lovely person. So thank you. And thank you, Wanako, for this lovely interview. I just wanted to share my appreciation for both of you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Miss 65. You're such a blessing. Just
Yeah,
love you.
thank you as well. Yeah, any more comments or questions? Otherwise, I will continue with Monique. Go ahead, just unmute yourself and then you can speak. It's at the bottom, there's a microphone symbol. Just press on
There.
it.
Oh, I see. Now it is there. Yeah. Thank you, Monique, for your sharing. I was listening with interest. I think you're a very, very good communicator, and energies communicate too, like you just expressed. And you seem very down to earth and embodying, I think, in a very true way what A Course in Miracles is teaching, and the universal call for the expression of the truth through your own personal journey and how you're living your life. Anyway, I really appreciate listening, and thank you for that. Bye.
Oh, that's very, very sweet. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for listening. Um, I think we all got such an important job to do, don't we? So such great energy here. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I have one question more. Do you have a mission, Monique?
Do I have a mission? I I hope so. I have been searching for that for forever now. I still don't have the answer. I actually did a meditation earlier today around that exact topic, and I still don't have an answer. Um, it's a constant journey to find my mission, to find what I should be doing. As I said, I do have a day job, and that takes a lot of my time. But I do feel there's something else out there for me, something else to do. But I guess it will be presented presented when and if um, it needs to be presented, or when the timing is right. But what I would at this moment in time, what I all I would like to do is just try and help other people just feel and understand that they're okay. I just feel like everything is it's been very hard for all of us over the past couple of years, and I just feel if everybody just started on that journey, if everybody just lived the Course of Miracles, or did a self-discovery journey, and just found their center and just found their love for themselves, um, you know, the world would be a better place, and we'd all just live in harmony, and we would just, everybody would be better off. Because that's really what most people's souls want. We all one, as we said earlier, we just need to be be happy with it within ourselves. So I just want to hopefully somebody will hear what I'm saying, or read the book, and start the journey, or hopefully feel inspired somehow to just go within, and you know just just heal themselves, and just find that beautiful love inside of them, and find it how beautiful they are, and how beautiful everybody is, and the world is, and nobody actually means any harm. We just sometimes are a bit lost. So yeah, that's my mission right now.
That is a lovely mission, Monique. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. We could actually do a joining together, our memory of our purpose, of our missions, if you like.
Okay, but you'll need to probably explain a little bit. I'm not too sure what that is.
I was thinking of you, for instance, just speaking a little bit about it and then pray, so to speak, asking the important question about it, and then let it sink in a little, and then we come back and speak some more about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let us
So what would you like?
focus on our
Yeah.
purpose, on our mission, and ask the source within us, no matter what name or shape or form we think it is in, to give us an answer about who we are, what our special function is, and how to live it, and how to experience it right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just let it sink in and let it grow and let the answer come. And I'd love to hear more about it. We are joined in purpose and in function. Each of us has a special function. The purpose is the same for all of us. According to A Course in Miracles, it's described as accepting the atonement for ourselves. And the form of that can be very specific to each one of us and is. Monique, would you like to share a little bit of the impressions that you got as we were sinking into this?
Yeah, um I got a tree growing, so I I I probably will need to meditate a bit on that to understand what that means, but it wasn't a seed, it was a tree though, so maybe I'm on the right path already. Maybe what I've started to do is now going to grow. Maybe that's what it means. Maybe maybe this is something I need to pursue a bit more in terms of, speaking, or writing. But I definitely saw a tree growing, and again, it wasn't a seed. So that's quite interesting. But I did feel a lot of power in my um, you know, my sacral chakra, which is you know, it's important part, obviously. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I experienced.
beautiful. Yeah. Did you see the roots going very deep and spread out wide? And where
Didn't
was that
show the
tree?
root. It it was probably an oak tree, but it was more the branches growing up rather than the roots. Usually, I always see the roots and the seeds, but I generally saw the big branches growing up. You know, as they looked like they were growing up on this massive oak tree, and it was positioned in a building, which was a bit strange as well. So it was somehow in a
Mm,
building. So maybe it's going to take over the building.
yeah, it sounds interesting. Yeah.
Our answers
Mm,
don't always come very easily, do they? But I definitely feel like I'm possibly on the right track. I just need to, it's growing. I just need to give it that momentum and yeah.
yeah, from your book, I had the impression you're very visual. So you do, and visceral, of course. So you,
Yes, I'm very visual, very visual.
yeah, so you feel things very strongly and you have strong images going with that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Beautiful.
That's a that's a pleasure.
Anyone else would like to share what impressions they had?
Yes, thank you. I wanted to share about. I want to somehow tribute to clarity in the world, that we have the power within ourselves, and it's not from outside. And that's an acknowledgement coming from separation to realize that it's such a release and freedom, and also love and kindness and understanding of others. As Monique said, that we are here together, and see the whole point about that. There is a point about it, that we are here. And in my view, it has to be from a divine, there has to be a divine purpose. And that is somehow reaching for that in every moment, and really believe in it and have faith in it and trust life, and our infinite source, and power and possibilities.
That's a beautiful
Thank you.
message.
Yeah, I just want to say also that be that visual, Monique, that is a divine creating tool to attract, to visualize what you actually want. I begin to practice it, and that is what everyone says about the law of attraction. You can visualize it, and having that ability, just put the focus on it and believe in it and enjoying the process. Thank you.
Yeah. It sounds like you are aware of the chakra system, Monique.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, many
pretty aware.
years, since many years I've been practicing with the chakra system, so I'm very aware of it. And since A Course in Miracles, it gained a different meaning than it had before, a different perspective. So yeah, it's very beautiful. And sacral chakra, the root chakra, and the tree, yeah, fits together perfectly.
Well, I don't know the Course of Miracles, the how how they see this chakral system. I need to go and read up on that. So you've given me some homework for tonight.
Actually, the A Course in Miracles doesn't speak of the chakra system.
Oh,
I just
okay.
said that I
Sorry.
gained a new perspective on it
Oh,
since
I see.
having
Yes.
being in one of the people who's studying A Course in Miracles.
Okay. Okay. Will be interesting to hear it. Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah, beautiful. Is there anything else you would like to share, or anyone else who would like to comment or share something before we wrap up?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for this opportunity, and it's been great talking to you. I feel so uplifted by this conversation, and everybody that's been on listening and commenting. So I'd really like to say thank you very much, and I wish everybody an amazing week. I think it's a special week, so may all your dreams come true this week.
Thank you so much for coming and for choosing to speak, because you said you had some doubts about it. Yeah,
It's
thank
just,
you so much.
yeah, I was just doubting myself. That's all. So thank you.
Yeah. If anyone wants to contact you, how can they do that?
They can contact me on my Facebook page, which is Energetic Sponge. I can send you the details. They can
Yeah.
just send me a message there, and yeah, then we can, or you could even contact me on this. Is is it shared on this platform? I don't know, or this channel.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could even contact me on this as well.
Yeah. And
And
there's
you have this lovely Creating True Abundance Facebook group too. But is it like you can put that in the episode afterwards, Banako? So you're putting the
yes. If I
yeah,
have the
okay,
links, I can put them in.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Then please, everyone who listens or is aware of this podcast, please share about it, review it, and let everyone know so they can join in the conversation. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Blessings to everyone. Until next time. Bye bye.